Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mama Bear, coming to you live from Central Florida on Soy Boys, Cat People, and WTF. So let me know if you can hear me. So I know you guys, Emily and Jody, thank you for jumping on. On other channels, let me know if you're there. I see that you're popping on. Let me know if this mic is working. I've been having issues with this mic. So let me know if you can hear me on the other channels. Tiffany, let me know if you can hear me on this mic. Hi, Alice from Northern Colorado. Hi, Jamie. All these cool people jumping on to join me tonight on Soy Boys, Cat People, and WTF. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay on all the channels. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Lizzie. Let me know if you're hearing this mic. If you can hear this mic okay, let me know. And we can get rolling on this topic because this topic has come up over and over and over and over and over again. It has come up so much lately and it is very concerning. And, I love animals. So as far as like the cat people part, I love animals. I'm a dog person. Emily says she's a cat person. Cool. But there's other parts of this that are not cool, and we'll talk about that. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Alyssa, let me know. Jessica, you guys can hear me. Awesome. Okay. So what is a soy boy? What is that, right? So it's a term that I made up with soy boy that I wish I didn't make up. I wish that it didn't exist. And a soy boy to me is a male. Male is defined in my world, how I was educated, and hopefully in your world, male is defined. If I'm offending people, it's not my intent to offend people. But if you have a penis and you have testicles, you are male. If you have a vagina, you are female. Okay, so those are my definitions I'm working with. I'm not making anybody wrong. I'm not making fun of anybody. I am just stating the facts. Anatomy. Like if a patient comes in, I have the choice of selecting as a gender, female or male, not to omit anyone, not to make anybody feel bad, not to any of that. If you have a penis, you are defined as a male. If you have a vagina, you are defined as a female. So you guys can let me know if you agree with that, you disagree with that, you don't like that. That's the definition, right? When I was in chiropractic school, we dissected cadavers. If the cadaver, a dead person, had a penis, it was a male cadaver. If the cadaver had a vagina, it was a female cadaver. That's the definition. And so my concern is, especially having a daughter, my concern is it's interesting viewing life through the eyes of a child. So those of you that have kids, maybe you can relate. And, kids are very inquisitive, and that's great because that's how we all learn, right? You learn by asking questions, you learn by observing, you learn by looking. And so there's been multiple times recently where she looks and she sees someone and she thinks that they're a girl. Now, when we're talking about, and they're not a girl, they're a boy, right? When we're talking about hormones, when someone has more testosterone, they will have more features, male features, right? What are male features? They may have hair on their face. They may have a deeper voice. They may have hair on the chest. They may have more muscle mass. They may have different hips, more narrow hips. They may have hair on the legs. They have a penis, they have testicles, right? So it increase in testosterone has physiological or body changes on a male body, right? So we talk about puberty, going through certain years, hormones change. A male will have an increase in testosterone. Right now, there are a lot of men that are being told their testosterone is lowered. Why is the testosterone lowered? Well, I believe it's due to too much estrogen in our environment. Where does estrogen come from? Estrogen can come from plastics, right? Estrogen can come from mold. Estrogen can come from soy. So plant-based estrogen. Soy has plant-based estrogen. So if someone is eating fake meat comes from animals. I never thought I'd have to define these terms, right? So meat comes from animals. If we're talking about animal flesh, we're talking about meat, right? Chicken, beef, fish, turkey, pig, whatever, right? So meat. If the animal is fed too much soy in its feed, that whatever the animal consumes will be transferred to the human, right? If we eat them, whatever they eat, we eat, right? And then there's a market for fake meat, right? Fake hamburgers, fake hot dogs, fake cold cuts, fake meat, right? And so the marketing on that is if you have fake meat, then you are saving our environment and you're doing good for our environment and that kind of thing. Which, talking to farmers, having cattle out on the plain actually helps to rebuild the soil. And so I think that a lot of the data that we're given in environmental is to push certain agendas. And we're going to talk a lot about agendas today, which is usually my husband's show, but it's trickling into what I do as well, because it's been a hot topic for 3 weeks in a row. And so when a male consumes too much soy, the testosterone has an effect. It'll go down. And the estrogen, thank you, yeah, Adam's apple, estrogen will go up. And so if a male has low testosterone, in my opinion, the solution is not to give the male testosterone. The solution is to find out why the testosterone is low. Okay. Is it because there's too much estrogen type products in the environment? Are they consuming, are they drinking out of plastic water bottles? Are they putting their food in plastic containers when it's hot? Are they, do they have a lot of new products in the house that are plastic based? Are they consuming soy? Are they consuming meats that have the animals have been fed a lot of soy? So that's what we're looking at. And so we're seeing some soy boys. We're seeing men that are developing breast tissues. A man should not have breasts. If you have breasts, you have too little testosterone and too much estrogen. My opinion as a holistic physician is not to take testosterone. My solution is to figure out why the testosterone went low, find the cause, fix the cause, and testosterone will go up. If you look at someone, and again, I'm not making fun of anyone because I think that's a very rude thing to do, but if you look at someone and you're not quite sure if they're male or they're female, most likely it is due because their hormones are not balanced, right? If they're male, they don't have enough testosterone. If they're female, they don't have enough progesterone or estrogen. And so it causes a lot of confusion in our society, and recent companies have decided to cause more confusion by, instead of saying, and I don't know how you teachers, the teachers I talk to, I don't know how you guys do this. Like, how do you teach kids they're not a he or she, that they can pick to be a they or we? Like, how do you teach English? How do you teach the class? How confusing. English language is already confusing. Like, I learned Spanish. Spanish was way easier than English. English is already a confusing language. So if you're teaching children the English language and you're teaching them grammar and they need to know how to write, I've seen so many applications lately from adults that cannot give me complete sentences. They do not know how to spell, and we have spell check. They don't know how to convey a thought on paper. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like our language is being, I'm looking for a good English word for it. It's being butchered, right? Because it doesn't make sense. If a person is a female, they are a she. If a person is a male, they are a he. And so the she, we, they, it's very confusing to a young child if you're trying to teach a language, if you're trying to teach reading, if you're trying to educate them. I was talking to an educator out of Maine, and she was saying they're going to have a public assembly. They're going to have a student assembly, and all the kids in elementary school the teachers were talking about, should they be addressed as ladies and gentlemen? Or would that be offensive? Like, what is happening to our society where a proper greeting is now offensive? Now, if someone decides that they're a girl, they were born with a vagina, and now they want to be a boy, and some people will not like what I'm about to say, I don't think an elementary school student has enough life experience to know that they want to be a male. Because if you have a female body and you start taking male hormones, you will become sterile as a female. You will have increased risks of cancer. Everything comes with a price, whether you take female hormones, male hormones, whatever it is. If you are female taking female hormones, that comes with a price. If you're male taking male hormones, that comes with a price. If you're female taking male hormones, that comes with a price. There's side effects to this. So I don't think an elementary school age child has enough knowledge, enough life experience to make a decision like that. And so some people might say, oh, well, they always felt like a boy. I was a tomboy. I didn't like playing with dolls. I didn't like Barbies. I thought Barbies were weird things with big boobies that had really long arms and really long legs. I didn't like Barbies. I didn't like Cabbage Patch dolls. My mom got me one. I put it in the closet. I thought it was creepy. Closed the closet. It's in like perfect condition because I didn't want to play with the thing. What do you do with it, right? I wasn't a girly girl. I liked being outside. I liked riding my bike. I liked playing football with the boys. I liked playing soccer. I liked playing hide and go seek. I liked swimming. I liked going to the beach. I was a very, very active kid. Does that mean that I wanted to be a boy? No, I didn't want to have a boy. I didn't want to be a boy. It just meant I like to play sports. That's okay. Someone posted the other day, they said they were thankful to their mom when they were 8 years old because they were similar to me. They like to play sports and their mom didn't say, oh, well, she wants to have a penis because she likes football. Like, come on. Or male, there's little boys, they babysit a little boy who would put on his mom's makeup and necklace and high heels. Does that mean he's homosexual? No, it just means he's a little kid and he watches his mom get ready in the morning and that's what she does. So he decided to do that too. So I'm very concerned, if I look at it just from a healthcare standpoint, I'm very concerned that we're going to have a population of children, of middle schoolers, of young adults, of adults that are not able to reproduce. They're not able to have families because their hormones are so interfered with. I have women in their 20s and their 30s, they very much want to have families, but because of things that the choices were made when they were younger to be put on birth control, to do certain things, excuse me, they can't have kids now, right? They're having difficulty getting pregnant now. And they would be great moms and great dads and that kind of thing. So soy is not a health food. Soy is a garbage protein. Now, fermented soy, so if you're from an Asian culture and you have fermented soy, or you like Japanese food or Chinese food and it's fermented, it removes the estrogen component. So that would be okay. Edamame is soybeans. If you like edamame, those are soybeans. And unfortunately, a lot of soy is genetically modified. Okay. So if you have a family member and they're male and they're starting to look female, it means the hormones are imbalanced. And we look for the cause of why they're imbalanced and we handle the cause. Now, another thing that the teacher's been telling me about, and I thought for sure this was a joke. I thought for sure they were kidding. And then I realized that I like the show Shark Tank, and I like the show Shark Tank, and you guys can let me know if you like that show. I like it as an entrepreneur because I like to see people's creativity. I like to see how people format their business. I like to see their creative ideas, and you guys can let me know if you like those. I don't always like what the sharks say to people. And I don't always agree with the sharks say to people. And then it's okay. They can have their opinion. I have my opinion. I've run a small business for 17 years. So I think I have some data in this. And so I was watching Shark Tank probably, 3-4 years ago. We really don't watch TV much. We might turn it on to watch a movie, which is really challenging right now to try to find a movie that does not push some kind of agenda. And so watching Shark Tank, and this lady or someone comes out and they have this device where you stick it in your mouth and there's a comb on it And if you have a cat, you can groom your cat with this comb. And so on one hand, I thought it was the weirdest freaking thing I've ever seen, and cat people are crazy. And what the hell would you lick your cat for? And that's just strange. I always try to look at the other viewpoint. Like I try to look at why would someone do that? Well, I could see how someone who really likes cats, and again, I'm probably not a good person to talk about this because I'm a dog person, right? So I could see how someone who really likes cats wants to groom their cat and tell their cat that they love them and all that. And I'm like, okay, so I could see them buying this device that they sell at Walmart and Amazon, whatever. You can look it up now if you want, where they stick it in their mouth and they like comb their cat with this device that has like it looks like a tongue and it has like a comb on it. And I could see why someone who really, really likes cats may want to do that. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm a dog person. I like dogs. I like that they're loyal. I like that they can protect you. I like that they're good exercise buddies. I like that they're good with kids. I like that they're gentle. I don't like that mine likes to chew up random stuff, but whatever, it just needs more training. So I'm going to ask your dog people. So dog people, would you, if you were watching Shark Tank or you walked through a store, would you buy a tongue that looked like a dog with a comb on it? And would you lick your dog? Because cats groom themselves by licking. Dogs groom themselves by licking. So would you lick your dog, right? And so Tiffany says, no, I'm a dog owner. I have no desire to lick my dog. Like, I don't want to lick my dog. Jen says no. Haley says, I'm a cat person, but I think the tongue thing's weird. Thank you, Haley. So Haley has beautiful cats. And I don't know, it's weird, right? So then I was thinking about this cat licking thing, right? And one of the teachers was telling me, well, you know, Dr. Palmer, you know, I work with middle schoolers and you can choose to be a cat in middle school. I'm like, what? Yeah, you can choose to be a cat and you can tell your teacher that your name is Fluffy and the teacher has to call you Fluffy. I'm like, what? So the child can decide that they're not a boy or not a girl, that they're now a cat and they want to be called Fluffy. And the teacher is supposed to call them Fluffy. Now, I love teaching. I think teaching is super rewarding. I love to see people understand things. I love to see the light bulbs go off and that they get it. Probably one of the reasons why I do these lives on Tuesday to explore topics and get people thinking and get conversations going and give good data on healthcare. And so if I was teaching a class, and these days I'm usually teaching adults, right? But if I was teaching a class and someone came up to me and they said, my name's Bob, but I want you to call me Fluffy. I I don't know what I would do. And not only do I want to be called Fluffy, but I want to have kitty litter in the corner of your classroom. And every now and then while you're teaching, I'm going to get up and I'm going to play in the kitty litter because I'm a cat. What would you guys say? Like, what would you guys say to that? So Jen's saying that's a huge thing right now in one of our school districts. And there was a huge backlash. They call them furries. Like, what the hell is a furry? Like, so Lucy Lacey says, no way, that's out of control. It's gone too far. I wouldn't stiff my dog's butt either. Exactly. You know, so I as an instructor or as a teacher or as a, you know, someone who teaches others, if I had an adult come up to me or a kid come up to me and be like, yeah, my name's Fluffy and I want you to put kitty litter in the corner of a classroom. And if you don't do that, then it is discrimination and I'm going to sue you. I probably would laugh hysterically. And I would kick them out of my class because it's my class, right? Those of you that work in the public school system, you guys need to speak up. As a parent, it's not okay. It is not okay for a kid to, now they could pretend like they're a cat or a dog, right? Like you see little kids, like my daughter sometimes pretends she's a dog and runs around on, you know, like on her hands and knees. And like I did that as a kid, right? But then I don't put out like kitty litter for her. Like, it's so freaking nuts. Like, there's one thing to pretend like playing, and the other thing is to call yourself an animal. And I think it's the degradation of our society in that we are not animals. You know, we are spiritual beings. We have souls. And I don't know. It's disgusting. It's crazy. It's grooming in more than one way. Tyler says there's a school that has a litter box for kids. So is that kid pissing in the litter box like a cat, or pooping in the litter box? Like, what's going to happen the day that little Johnny pulls out his Johnson and pisses in the litter box? Like, is that going to be okay because he thinks he's a cat? Like, what the hell? And if my kid's in that class, my kid is homeschooled, but if my kid was in that class, I would not be okay with that. Would you guys be okay with little Johnny pulling out his Johnson and pissing in the litter box? What are you guys going to do with that? And so parents say, glad I'm homeschooled because this is crazy. When I was a teen, furries were people who wore costumes of animals and had sex. Yeah. So I have heard that people are into that. So if you are an adult and that is your thing and you do that behind closed doors, am I okay with that? I guess. I don't really know about that. But I do not think it is the public school system to allow kids to expose their genitals and pee in a litter box, or be called a cat or a dog, or like if someone say, I want to be a dinosaur, and now they could be a dinosaur, or a horse, or a ferret, or a fish. Like, okay, I'm a fish today, Mrs. Jones. And you just sit in the corner going like this. Like, where do you draw the line? And where's the order? And where's the ethics? And where's the morals? And where's the parenting? And like, crazy, right? Crazy. So you guys are saying time to step into reality and leave the fetishes at home. Yeah. Kids are cats called furries now. So the teachers, you guys have seen weird stuff. And are you okay with that? Are you okay with a kid acting like a cat in your classroom? Are you okay with a kid acting like a dog in the classroom? Are you okay with putting kitty litter in the classroom? I'm not okay with it. As a parent, I don't want my kids' friends to act like cats or dogs and for the teacher to be okay with that. I don't want the teacher to call Susie Bob and Bob Susie. Like, I'm not okay with that. And I'm really not okay with the kid deciding that's what they want. And the teacher being obligated to call them whatever they want to call them. Like, you know, if we have a patient that wants to be called a different name, their medical record is their given name. If they want to change their name, they can change their name. But to me, a 7-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old, even a 16-year-old, like, you don't even know who you are, what you're doing. I don't think that's okay. Tiffany is a unicorn. That's cool, Tiffany. Ashley says, so effed up. Yes, Ashley, I totally agree. Susie said, parents don't know how to say no to their kids. It's really easy. No. The answer is no. And the problem is that there's going to be a group of kids, and I think we're already seeing that, where they were never told no. So when someone like me as an employer tells them no, they do not know, they can't compute the word no. Like, they don't know. So I had an employee, and we treat all our employees fantastic. I never yell at them. I try to incentivize, I guess is the word. I try to reward them for awesome production, make the workplace fun, encourage them to pursue their goals. I try to treat my employees how I would want to be treated, right? Am I perfect? No. But I try to do my best. So I had an employee who, I guess she thought the grass was greener somewhere else. Okay. Maybe natural healthcare wasn't her thing. Totally okay. And she was updating her resume while she was on the clock at the office. Not okay. Like, don't do that. That's not okay, right? And even more not okay was that she decided to print her updated resume. And for some reason, probably because she was doing this during working hours, you shouldn't do this at work, whether it's working hours or non-working hours, but she decided to print her resume. And for some reason, she selected my printer in my executive office. And so I printed something and I go to grab what I printed and I'm looking through the stuff and I'm like, what is this? And I see her name and I see her resume. So I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Like, what is this, right? So I'm like, oh gosh, now I got to get with HR and we have to have a meeting with her to see why she's printing her resume. Like obviously she's job hunting. Why would you touch your resume unless you were job hunting, right? So myself and HR, we have a meeting with her and I said, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good. How's the job? Oh, it's fine. Are you job hunting? No. Okay, well, I found your resume in my printer. Oh, well, I was updating it. Okay, well, you don't want to update your resume. Well, usually you update your resume if you're job hunting. And if you're job hunting, it's probably because you don't like it here. And if you don't like it here, it's totally okay. You can quit. I'm okay with that. But just be honest with me. If there's a problem, tell me what it is and I can help you. If you need more training, we can do more training. Like what's happening? Oh, I just needed to update my resume. Okay. Well, I don't know about you guys. I don't just update resumes to update resumes. Usually not people's favorite thing to do. And I said, okay, well, you're updating your resume. Got it. And then you're printing your resume and you printed it in my printer. Oh, well, that's because I don't have a printer at home. So that was the reply. The reason why she printed it at the office was because she doesn't have a printer. And I said, okay, got it. Well, you're on the clock. You're working for me right now. And if you don't want to work for me, totally fine. Just tell me. But it is not appropriate for you to use my printers to print your personal stuff. But I don't have a printer. She couldn't understand why it wasn't okay to print her personal resume on my company's printer. So it didn't compute. She didn't get it. Like she didn't understand. Like she wasn't being a smartass. It didn't register in her brain why it was bad to print her resume on my printer. And then, in addition to that, she came back late from lunch and she called the office to let us know she was going to be late because she peed her pants. Well, isn't that interesting? She peed her pants and she had to go home to change her pants because she had the printed resume. So I don't know about you guys, but I could have made a much better excuse than peeing my pants. Like you're an adult and you're peeing your pants. So I would assume that she updated her resume on the clock, printed it to my printer, realized that she printed it from my printer, or maybe she didn't. Printed it on a different printer, went to lunch where she had her interview. The interview ran late, so she told us she peed her pants so she could go home and return. Like, you peed your pants? Like, that was your excuse? So I told her, I said, look, obviously you're not happy here. Obviously you're looking for another job. If you don't want to work here, don't work here. No, I like it here, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. So needless to say, she didn't work with us very long, but I don't think anybody's ever said no to her. And I said no. I said, sorry, this isn't working out. She definitely got the word no. So you guys are, Lizzie says she needs a litter box. Maybe she does. I don't even know what to say. So cat people, guess it's a thing. I'm not okay with it. If you're a parent and your kid goes to any kind of school and they have that, you need to write the administration and let them know you're not okay with kids being called cats or dogs. I mean, what's next? Is it okay for a teacher to call a kid a pig? That sounds offensive, right? And then kitty litters or dog pee-pee pads. Like, is that going to be a thing? Is that okay? I'm not okay with that. And then you have a male bathroom, a female bathroom, and then a cat bathroom. I don't understand. It just sounds like it's a whole bunch of bad stuff. And then the last point is, some of you saw a documentary that came out, and it was a holistic doctor talking about possible causes of the pandemic. Now, this whole entire time, Dr. Dean and I have not subscribed to what the media says, right? So when they said it was a virus, we're like, well, it's not acting like a virus. Viruses are dead anyways. And so it was very interesting because it was really acting like a parasite. And that made sense because parasites are going to respond to ivermectin and parasites are going to respond to hydroxychloroquine. And is this new mechanism through the water supply, is that a new theory, or has that been done multiple times? Now, I like Star Wars. Would I consider myself a sci-fi fan? I don't know. You guys can state, do you like sci-fi? Do you like sci-fi novels? I'm more of a business book or an action person. But I wouldn't, like, if there was a whole bunch of novels, I wouldn't pick sci-fi. Like, that wouldn't be what I would pick. Self-help, but I wouldn't pick sci-fi typically, right? If I was at the airport, I was like, I need something to read, I probably wouldn't pick sci-fi. But one of my friends bought me a book. It was sci-fi. And it was interesting because it was short stories, and each story occurred in a different part of the galaxy, on different planets. And it was really interesting because the lead character was a physician, and the physician would use these really cool tools to try to figure out what happened to this planet that had a problem, right? So one of the stories, as soon as I heard this last night, Jason and I talk about stuff all the time on what's happening. And then you guys are so cool. You guys brief us on what's happening in California, and what's happening in Australia, and what's happening in Nebraska, what's happening in New York, wherever you're located. And it's a really great network. Like, I really appreciate the group that we formed, because we can share data from what's happening in your state or your country or whatever, right? And I would a million times more listen to what you guys are saying or what my colleagues are saying over what MSM, what mainstream media is saying, right? Because we know who pays for mainstream media, right? If you want to know, where a person's coming from, follow the dollar, right? So with this book, there was a story on a population that was all getting sick. And so this doctor, the main character, goes to this population, and he just starts asking questions and looking around, and he finds out that the government of this population is polluting the water supply. And I thought, oh my gosh, well, isn't that interesting, And so when this new documentary came out, it's not that far-fetched, in my opinion, because they've been polluting our water supply for forever, right? It's one of the reasons why we live on a well, and why when I woke up this morning, my husband said, "You're a genius." And I said, "I'm not a genius. What are you talking about?" And he said, "Well, because you wanted a couple things. You wanted to live on a well, and you wanted to have land." And I said, "Well, yeah, because I don't want to drink city water that has fluoride, that lowers IQs, that has chlorine, that destroys the thyroid gland, that has pharmaceutical residues of antidepressants and birth control and whatever, that has radioactive metals in it that can cause cancer, and that, who knows, has a whole bunch of stuff that just got released, right?" And so I think one of the reasons why we did awesome during the whole entire time period is because we tend to drink water from our house. Do we drink water from the office sometimes too? Yeah. And what was really interesting is when we got sick, when people in our office got sick, it happened like one person after the next person after the next person after the next person. And Dr. Dean and I had just left a big seminar. And typically at big seminars, I bring my own water in if it's local, or I get a bottled water that I trust, right? But at this seminar, they gave us these really cool water bottles. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to use this cool water bottle. And they have one of those water dispensers. I'm going to fill my water bottle with this automatic water dispenser, and I won't get plastic bottles, and I won't get glass bottles, and I'll be more green. And so I drink the water, and I typically don't drink the water in a hotel, and I don't drink the water in a public area. I don't do that, right? It's just a policy. And so I broke my policy. That's why it's important to have policies for your family, and policies for your workplace, and policies for your life. So I broke my policy, and I drank this water thinking I'm being green. And then a day after the seminar, I'm like sicker than a dog, and I haven't been sick in years. I can't remember the last time I was sick. It's been like 10 years, right? So it went down for 9 days. So is this documentary true? So you guys can post a link if you want. Is this documentary true? Is something being released in the water supply and that's what's causing people to go down? Now, the interesting part is the people that we work with from all over the world, whatever the case may be, is it parasitic? Is it something else? Is it coming from a reptile? Para 3 has really helped with that. And what's interesting is we typically don't just give somebody Para 3, we're going to give them some kind of binder. We're going to use carbon technology like biotoxin binder, right? So biotoxin binder, I had a patient ask me this the other day. They're like, so can I just get charcoal from my grill and grind it up and take that? I'm like, are you kidding me? That is not even close to what is in this product. That's not even the same. That's not even the same ballpark. And so binders will bind, like this product will bind chemicals that you're exposed to in the environment. They'll bind metals that you're exposed to in the environment. If you're killing off parasites, it'll absorb the junk, because when parasites die, they can release more parasites. They can release mold. They can release heavy metals. It'll bind up that junk too. And so whatever this thing is, right? Whatever this problem in our society is, whatever this bioweapon is, and there's been so many philosophies. There've been so many, guesses on what's really occurring. And it may not be one thing. It may be multiple things, right? Because if you're doing a PCR test and there's so many false positives, you could call it one word, but what are you really testing for anymore, right? When the validity and when how valid the test is not very valid at all. What are you testing for? So then this person's positive and that person's positive and the other person's positive and all these people are positive, but what are they positive for? They're positive for they took a test that's flawed. So crazy. So thank you for putting the documentary up called The Water. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Is it all true? I don't know if it is, right? If it is true and there is venom, snake venom, so the documentary or the movie or whatever you want to call it, the world premiere is a doc, thinks that this pandemic could be actually from snake venom. And so is it that? I don't know. Watch the Water. Yeah. So it's called Watch the Water. So is it true? I don't know. Do we get chemicals and metals and radioactive metals from our water? Absolutely. Do we get chemicals and metals from our air? Absolutely. Do we get chemicals and metals from our food? Absolutely. So what I don't want you guys to do is I don't want you to panic and like what are you going to do? You have to breathe. You have to eat. You have to drink water. You have to drink fluids, right? So how do you avoid this? How do you what can you do about it, right? So I don't want to bring up a problem and then not give you solutions. So what can you do, right? You can take binders, right? So biotoxin binder, you can take binders. You can take Para 3, right? So Para 3 has many, many herbs. Herbs are so cool. They were put on this planet to help the body heal. They have so many therapeutic uses. So if you're working with us, we can give you a personalized program to help keep your body running as best as we can keep it running, right? If you know that you have pollution in your water, then take measures to eliminate or reduce the pollution. If you're eating crappy food, then the easy solution is to not eat crappy food, right? So it's about to be Easter. And I'll admit, back in the day, I was a very happy kid when my mom put in the pink peeps. You guys can let me know. Do you like pink peeps? The little marshmallow thingies or yellow ones? Or do you think they're disgusting? Do you like, I used to like the Cadbury eggs with the yellow liquid death in there. Liquid death meaning that it's so sweet. Do you like Reese's peanut butter cups? I like that. Do you like black jelly beans? I totally like black jelly beans. Like Easter is probably one of my favorite holidays. I'm not quite sure what we're celebrating because of some people say it's resurrection, but did it occur at that time or not that time? I don't know. And so I just liked it because I got a whole bunch of sugar in a basket, woke up and started eating chocolate in the morning, and my parents were cool with that. Were they wrong for doing that? I don't know. Society does that, right? So I would encourage you, instead of giving your kid a whole bunch of chocolate and high fructose corn syrup and dyes and sugar, maybe look for, like Leah, she's going to get some cool socks. She's going to get some arts and crafts projects. She really loves gymnastics, so I got her some new training shorts. And so I still want her to experience some cool things in our society. What are we celebrating? There's many things that you could celebrate. But it could be fun, right? So, Beth likes Reese's eggs. Yes, Beth. Tierney likes chocolate. Yes, chocolate. Cadbury egg is gross. A Cadbury egg has so much sugar. It is insane. Black jelly beans are life. Tyler, that's awesome. I find that people either love black jelly beans or they hate black jelly beans. I love black jelly beans, but I don't eat them anymore. All right, so then Jen's asking, what's the link to Pear 3? So Pear 3 has a lot of healing herbs in it. Pear 3 helps to handle parasites, right? But if we're handling parasites, it also can help with bacteria. It also could be helping with other immune challenges. I would hope that if you were an evil person, and you guys can let me know your thought on this, I would hope that if you were an evil person and you released evilness, an evil weapon into society, that you would have a solution to the evil weapon, right? So there was a serpentarium in Miami. And the owner, my mom told me about this. My mom was a nurse, an RN at a huge public hospital, Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami. And there was this gentleman, I don't remember his name. She would totally remember his name. But there was a gentleman who owned the Serpentarium in Miami. And so those of you that, was it South Miami? I want to say it was South Miami High School or Sunset. One of those schools in Miami, their mascot is a cobra, right? And so what was really cool is the guy that owned the Serpentarium had this huge cobra statue, if you will, on his building. And when they closed the Serpentarium, he donated it to one of the South Florida high schools, and they put it on their roof. But the point of me telling you the story is this guy would have snakes, and the snakes would bite him, and he developed a resistance to the venom. And in fact, he had such a good resistance to the venom that they used his blood as anti-venom. So God forbid someone's in South America and they got bit by some nasty snake, some kind of venomous snake, they would use this guy's blood. And in fact, if I remember correctly, they kept it at the hospital as anti-venom because he had developed an immunity to the venom, which is super interesting. So I would hope that if you were an evil person and you created something really bad, that you would also have the antidote. I don't know what the antidote is. All I know is, as a holistic physician that studied a million hours, that's probably exaggerating, but a lot in holistic nutrition and not the food pyramid and not eat this, don't eat that, in herbs and homeopathy and carbon technology and whole food nutrition, right? That the better you take care of your body, the more it will take insult, right? So if someone, you can think of someone who is like doing really badly. So, maybe an elderly family member who isn't very resilient. If that person were to get exposed to a lot of bleach, they might pass out, right? Whereas someone whose body's working better and is healthier and their system's working more optimally, they might get exposed to a lot of bleach and they're like, oh man, that stinks. And then they remove themselves from the area. Whereas other person, they may not be able to move very well. They may not be able to, their lungs may already be compromised and they may faint, right? So what can you do about it? You can get your system working as well as possible. You can get toxins out of your body by using binders, by using different products like HMET, heavy metal environmental toxin binder, or ViradChem, which helps to eliminate chemicals as well and metals. By looking to see what in your system is not functioning well, and find the cause, right? So I feel like a health detective every day. I'm looking for the cause. Is it a heavy metal? Is it a parasite? Is it mold? Is it radiation? Is it a combination of stuff? Find the culprit, find the cause, find the problem. Do whatever you can to handle the problem, balance out the body with whole food nutrition, homeopathy, and carbon technology. And now what happens? We see blood pressures that are high go down. We see blood sugars that are high normalize. We see people who have no energy and are depressed. We see improvement in that. Why? Not because we healed the body. I didn't heal the body. I didn't do that. Their body has its own intelligence to heal itself. They just sometimes may need help to remove the right chemical, remove the right metal, and put in good nutrients to rebuild it. Okay, cool. All right, so Tiffany said, oh yeah, so Tiffany put the link for Para 3. If you want Para 3, you can get it on that link. Let's see. We have a cool post up here. Let me get it down here so I can read it. So Spider Rose says, I gave up all sugar and breads for Lent. Cool. I feel so good, but I'm dying for chocolate. My arthritis hardly bothers me since I stopped all sugar. Yes, sugar is very addictive and sugar is very inflammatory. So if you're going to have sugar, so I will admit to you, there's some people that are in the holistic healthcare world and they act like they're saints and they're perfect and they do nothing bad and they like wear cotton robes and bathe in like, I don't know, mountain water or something. And that's just not very realistic. So I like chocolate and I will buy chocolate with stevia or I will buy dark chocolate. And so Spider Rose, if you want to have a piece of chocolate on Easter, go for it. I tell patients, you don't have to eat perfect. You just have to eat better, right? And then you'll have improvement. Good. All right. So check a couple more questions. So is there a binder link? I believe if you get the full moon protocol, there's a binder there. Dr. Dean is constantly working on improving the sites. He just hired a gentleman to help him consolidate the sites, make them more user-friendly, make them easier to use. So that is coming soon. So that was it's a big project. So that's coming soon. So that should be very exciting. Beth loves 85% dark cacao. Cacao is what chocolate's made of. Alice Arsenic went to a birthday party Saturday, watched a mom feed her kid 4 pieces of cake. Oh my goodness. Have you guys ever watched at a birthday party how the kids are all having fun and they're all excited and they're all playing nice, and then the cake comes out and they start crying and fighting and acting crazy, and then all these kids get sick after the birthday party? Well, sugar decreases the immune system. Sugar suppresses the immune system. And so, it kind of starts now. I don't know if I want to say that it starts now. I really don't think it ever ends, because I would say, it starts with Easter candy. So Easter's March, but then you have like barbecue sauce is sugar. Then you roll into October, Halloween. Oh my gosh, it's $1 billion industry, candy. And why are we giving candy again at people's doors? We have some weird traditions, right? And then you think of Thanksgiving, which is more sweets. And then you think of Christmas or Hanukkah, it's more sweets. And then New Year's, it's more sweets. And then February's Valentine, it's more sweets. It doesn't end. It does not end. Okay, well, this show is going to end because I got to go. But hopefully you guys got some great data that you can use. You have some ideas on how to improve your health. You have some solutions to the current problem. And you're ready for Saturday's full moon. So if you think about it, Good Friday. Saturday, people are going to be prepping for Sunday. We'll just say it like that. And then Sunday, it tends to be more sweets around. So Saturday parasite party, people are going to be eating increased sugar, chocolate, that kind of thing. And you may not feel so good if you got buggies. Thank you, Spider Rose. Alice Arsenic says Halloween to Easter we're screwed, but you know what? I just went through the months and it doesn't end. It's just sugar all the time. Beth, you're so welcome. I'm so happy to help you guys. I really appreciate you guys jumping on and participating. If I can help you in any other way, please let me know. I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mama Bear, wishing you guys a happy Easter, a happy spring, and I don't even know what else to say. Have a good night. Bye.